Hello and welcome to the third step. The third step is one of my favorites because it really gets down to the nitty-gritty reason why you're not moving forward, right? We have all these misconceptions of what's going to happen and we kind of doom ourselves thinking about the what ifs before we do anything and we paralyze, right? Nothing happens at all because we talk ourselves out of it. Nope, it's okay. That's all right. I don't need to do it. Today we're going to look at, all right, you know what you're going to do. You know why. You know what steps you have to take, right? So you have the roadblocks, that's the steps you need to take, things you have to do. And you have the end results, right? The thing that's going to happen, the benefits of doing it. So the last piece that we're really going to look at before we jump into taking the risks is the fear factor. Because honestly, what leads to feeling nervous, angry, mad, sad, uncomfortable, right? What are those things? It's led by fear because of some type of experience we've had or we've seen from reading, TV, whatever it is. We've had some type of experience that's similar to what we need to do, and we fear that's going to happen again, right? We start to create all these different scenarios that are bad. And we think, okay, this is just all this bad stuff's going to happen. So I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to try. Okay. So I want you to list out the what ifs. So yeah, you're going to write out, what if you did this? What's the worst thing that could happen? Literally write it down. What is the worst thing that could happen? And if you have multiple ideas of bad things that could happen, go for it. Write them down. What are they? Now, I want you to write out what's the best thing that could happen. That one's pretty fun. What's the best thing? They say yes, or they say, oh, I've been meaning to talk to you about that as well. Right? What's the best thing that could happen? Oh, I'm so glad you reached out because I'm looking for people to connect with as well. What's the best thing that could happen? And then I want you to write out what's the thing that's probably going to happen that's neither the big, like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, or the, oh, that's really bad. But what's the typical, oh, sure, yeah, we could get together. I'm glad we had that conversation, right? So just think about the end result. What's something that would happen that is like, okay, not that big of a deal. That's kind of what was expected, but right, it's not the worst thing that could happen, but you knew it would. Like maybe somebody says no, right? If you are at your job or with a business and you ask if they would like to look at some information and they say, no, I'm okay right now. Okay, that would be the expected. The worst could be, do not ever call me again. You are annoying, right? I am unfriending you on Facebook, right? So those are kind of the worst case scenarios. And then the to be expected would be them saying no, right? And then you have the best, which would be, oh, I'm so glad you reached out. I've been watching you and I've been meaning to talk to you. Okay. So that's what you're going to do today is write out what are the worst things that could happen, the best, and the expected. And then I want you to look at it and think, can I survive that? If that did happen, the worst case scenario, if that's what happened, is it still worth why I want to do it? Is it still worth that feeling I get or that end result of making it happen, no matter what? Is it still worth it? Okay? Can you survive that worst case scenario? And really, you can. But you have to decide that on your own. Maybe it would take a day to overcome. 2 days. Maybe if it took a month, but you overcame it and it still gave you the end result that you wanted. You had that difficult conversation with a family member that was important to you, and maybe they got a little hurt or upset. What if they got mad? But you give them a couple days, they get a month, and then after that, you guys are okay and maybe even stronger. So that is your assignment, is to write out what's the worst and decide, can you live through it? Will you survive? Now that you know what you're supposed to do for that, today I would like for you to try to introduce yourself. No, don't try, just do. Introduce yourself to somebody. Whether you're at, let's see, where haven't we gone yet? The mall, the phone store, maybe school, where your kids go to school. Introduce yourself to somebody. Just 'cause. You're not expecting anything out of it. You just want to introduce yourself. Maybe there's someone at church or work that you don't know and you've been meaning to do it. So you just introduce yourself. That's it. We're not looking for anything out of it, just to make sure they know who you are. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next step.